Hello, sixth grade. Welcome back. What we're going to do today, as you can see, is we're just going to go over some of these review topics for the upcoming quiz. And to be honest, you don't necessarily have to answer these questions on paper or in a Word document, but you need to follow along with your notes and the things that we've been doing along the course of this unit so that you can make sure that you have the right information for the test. Okay, so what you see here is kind of a list from beginning to end of things that we've discussed. And what I'm going to do as we just jump on each question is not necessarily answer them, but kind of give some clarification as to what you would be looking for in your notebook or in the stuff we've discussed. Okay, so to start, the very first question says, why did Europeans originally start exploring areas outside of Europe? Now, what you need for this question and to answer this question is to know specifically why Europeans decided to start exploring areas in the first place. Okay, because obviously there was something going on prior to people exploring a way of doing things that was kind of the norm. And then for whatever different reasons, they had to kind of go outward. Okay, which leads me to this second bit here, these pros and cons, which should kind of give you a clue. We have a little bit of information in the notebook related to traveling to Asia. What were the pros and cons of that for Europeans? And then later on, traveling to the New World, pros and cons about that. As far as on the quiz, I'm just going to ask a few questions about either of these, and you just need to have your notebook ready and have the information ready for where we talked about these particular pros and cons about the travel to Asia and the New World. Technological advantages. Um, the thing about technological advantages is we talked about it very specifically on one assignment during this whole NTL process. And if you remember any of those or where those were located, I'm just going to ask maybe very simple questions about some of those technological advantages that the Europeans have. So just have those on tap. Okay, the Columbus questions. We had a whole section about this. You had a whole activity related to this. So you want to go back and you want to reference these. But as you can tell, there are a number of questions that I could ask something specific about. So the theory of was the world flat or did they believe that the world was flat back then? The length of Columbus's first voyage. Did Columbus even know that he had found some new world? Did he even technically discover the U.S.? Where does the name America come from? And did Columbus get rich? Now, on some of these, there can be a yes or no answer, somewhat in your opinion, but in others, there's going to be a yes or no answer, plus there's going to be an explanation. So you have to be ready to kind of go with your yes or your no, but also give me some details. The Voyages map is a map that you all made with all the different arrows and lines on it. I'm not going to ask specifically where did this guy go or where did this guy go, but I think, again, generally speaking, the theme of it or kind of the pattern of it is something that I will ask questions about. The explorer names, the voyage dates, and the voyage results. Again, I'm not going to necessarily ask very specific things, but I'm going to ask very general. Like if you paid attention, if you remember doing this assignment, if you even look back on it, you're going to know right away what I'm asking. Okay, the most recent of some of these, the Spain, Portugal, England, France, and Dutch colony boxes were all those different boxes where you all wrote in where did they establish colonies and what things were they looking for. And there was a bunch of different answers. So if you have that chart at the ready, you'll be able to get any questions I ask about that. Doing business in the New World. What were some of the advantages of doing business in the New World? Again, like those joint stock companies. What were some of the disadvantages? And again, what were some of the reasons that people started joint stock companies or different business ventures in the New World to begin with? So there were some reasons, there were some things going on in Europe that go along with that. Last but not least, this is what you all most recently wrote some things about as well. The concept of mercantilism, what is commerce, what is an entrepreneur, and again, what happens with a joint stock company. Okay. I put this last part in red down here just because your notebook, like, can you physically have your notebook out while you take this quiz? Yes, I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is people that are going to look up internet answers or just copy and paste from Google or someplace like that. And friends, I can tell that right away. Okay, some people don't even do a service of like changing the font or the font color from the other website, so it's pretty much a dead giveaway. But if it's something that we talked about specifically, if it's an answer that we have talked about in our note taking or in some of these screencasts, then I know where it came from. If it's a very long, very wordy answer that I'm sure nobody, even myself, would come up with, then I can pretty much tell you just got it from the internet. Okay, so notebooks are definitely a yes, but when I see internet answers, I'm just going to count them wrong. Okay, so again, this whole thing is happening on Thursday. If you look again through this list and look through your notes and have your notes ready to go, then you should be set. Okay, if at any point you think you're missing a chunk here or you're missing a certain area, go back, maybe scroll back through the Google Classroom and see if you missed a step somewhere or missed a day somewhere along the way. Okay, hopefully you all are again staying safe and being well. And the year is about to wrap up pretty soon, so keep up the good work. And we will definitely talk to you very soon. Bye bye.